back to the bottom, 6 to go.
Makes a mistake again. He missed a shift. He's going to spin to the inside turn. He's going to take the lead.
Eli Hinton just got used up there in the hairpin. He's going to pick up a win after a long winless streak in Visit Victory Lane. And the whole field just needs to get himself slowed down, hopping these curves up and over. There's Zach Cannon running a tad wide. Great restart here for the 2 car, but also for the 48. He crosses him over, down into turn 1, there goes the tail. Here comes the 20 alongside. The 13 car gets turned. He's going to spin in turn 2.
For race number 7 of the 2019 Outsider Racing Series Championship, we head to Richmond, Virginia, a 3/4-mile short track that is known for putting on some of the best short track racing in the business. Bumping, banging, hot tempers, and hot brakes are going to culminate in the winner tonight in race number 7. And we're used to seeing some fantastic racing last night at Chicagoland Speedway. The virtual racing league, consisting of much of the same driver field we're going to see tonight, had a spectacular race at the 1.5-mile Chicagoland Speedway in Joliet, Illinois. But now we head to the short track banks, where at the end of the night, only the driver that outlasts the rest of the field is going to make it to Victory Lane. Finian, race number 7, we've seen quite the championship battle so far. Mark Emerson still sitting pretty at the top of the point standings.
Yeah, a really strong start to his season. He has a very solid lead by, I think, about 24 points. Yep, 24 points over Angelo Ronas. And Ronas, too, also having a pretty good season. He's been very quiet. Hasn't really made a lot of noise, but he's currently in second place.
As we look down the order, yeah, you mentioned Ronas. He gained 2 spots last week. Jeff Wright dropped 1. He's our in-race reporter tonight. Bailey Turner down 1 as well, back to 4th place. Alec Martinez with his victory in the last race. He's jumped 3 spots up to 5th. Elliot Butler dropped 1. Eli Hinton's been hanging out there in 7th. But as you look down the order, Clifton Cockrell, Reggie Ortega. Ortega had a very strong run the last couple races, but faltered in the last event and has dropped 4 spots down to 13th. Bruce Boyer also had a rough couple of weeks. AJ Stravato just starting to turn things around. And Joshua Banks sitting in 20th with more bad luck on his season. But as we continue to work our way through the season, it seems like Mark Emerson has finally turned his luck around after a rough end of the VRL season last season.
Yeah, really has turned the season around with 2 wins and 6 starts. He's got a 1/3 win, 33% win percentage for him. So hopefully he's going to try to keep it up here at Richmond tonight. Although he was saying that he didn't feel entirely comfortable with the car. But that really, times he said that, it really hasn't shown that he struggles too much. So I expect to see that 22 up in the front.
New driver here tonight, Brandon Gagnon in the number 83 Napa Auto Parts Camaro. He is qualified 6th right now, but he pounded the wall in his second lap, Finian, so that's going to be a long night for him. Starting from the rear, there's about 27, 26 cars, somewhere around there, starting this race this evening. It's going to be a long drive from the back of the field. Passing at a short track might be easier than a 1.5-mile racetrack, but by the time you get to the front, you're going to have to use your stuff up.
Yeah, indeed, and looking for, currently quite a few guys have yet to put a time down. Only have 7 drivers with a time right up and climbs up to 9, so looks like a decent amount of people are kind of sitting it out or just kind of waiting for the end to put a lap in.
Mark Emerson jumped up to 2nd. We were just watching him out. How about Eli Hinton in the number 13 SimTV Toyota Camry? He jumps up to 4th on the board. Robert Gaba to 7th. And Jeff J. Wright slots himself into 4th, as well as AJ Stravato in 3rd. We mentioned how Stravato's turning his season around. He switched numbers a couple weeks ago from 9 back to his 33 that he had last season, and things have just been looking up ever since he put the double-digit number 3 back on that car, and it looks like it's going to be a strong start to the night, starting from position number 3.
Yeah, fun thing, too, for Stravato is finish inside the top 10 for all 6 races so far this season, so definitely has been very consistent. In fact, he's the only driver in the entire field to have more than 5 top 10 finishes. Interesting
stats there. How about Alex Bell? His season's been a bit rough to start off. He's starting to start 14th tonight, probably farther down if a couple more drivers put in laps. Angelo Ronas, he's 2nd in the point standings. How about this, Finian? He came into this season as probably a big underdog, but he has been performing well beyond our expectations, and it looks like tonight, as long as he gets a good qualifying effort, he should run really well across the line for his lap. Where is he going to slot in? P5 for the 29 car, and that's where he's going to start. Qualifying complete here, 180 laps around the 3/4-mile Richmond Raceway, newly renamed a couple of years ago, and they've done a lot to put money and effort into this racetrack to make it a better fan experience. And tonight we get to watch incredible short track racing. Finian, it seems like short track racing can be a bit messy sometimes within the iRacing platform, but with a group this talented, what are our expectations tonight? Are we going to be surprised, or do you think it's going to be a repeat winner to start off this race here tonight?
Honestly, can swing both ways. Definitely a talented group of guys, though I expect it to be a little bit messy. The setup that these guys are running, very loose, very snappy on the exit, so I think we're going to potentially see a lot of wrecks stemming from that. Other than that, I think we got a good shot at seeing a different winner here, especially guys that seem to dominate the short tracks.
You're looking at Richmond Raceway there, 0.721 miles, 4 corners. And this place is really interesting to drive because that back straightaway is a lot shorter than the front. And the front straightaway is not really that straight at all. And you come up off the corner, Finian, up against the outside wall. And there's different lines you can play with here, but I think drivers will probably be bottom feeding for the majority of the first half of this event.
And also, before we get underway here, I also want to point out, if you notice some different paint schemes on the car this week, it's a tribute week to rock and roll history. So that's why a lot of drivers giving some tribute paints to a lot of bands over the years.
That's a cool little thing there. Also, it's going to be a day-to-night race, Finian. The air temp is 80, the track temp is 80. That will likely not fall anywhere. It's partly cloudy skies, a beautiful evening for racing. I don't see this really changing. You see the sun going down. The lights are already on. And I love night racing because you get to see the sparks flying and the tempers flare and the brake rotors glowing. And Richmond is pretty hard on the brakes especially, so I think we'll see a lot of drivers. Remember back here, the Virtual Racing League season, last season, Jordan Ashland was using the brakes a lot, and he is here tonight in that number 27 and in a gorgeous paint scheme as well. Can't quite get a good glimpse at it just yet, but I'm sure we'll have a lot of opportunities to talk about him this evening. And as the field begins to roll off, how about we run through the starting lineup here, Finian, because we kind of have a surprise pole sitter on the front row. Elliot Butler in the number 6. He's going to start alongside outside pole. Mark Emerson, the points leader, on the number 22 Chevrolet Camaro. And then starting in that second row, as I'm going to get my starting lineup screen back up here, it dropped on me, is the 33 of AJ Stravato. And we mentioned his season off to a good start, but how about Jeff Wright, our in-race reporter, starting in 4th place in the number 48 Dark Smoke Toyota Camry. And then 5th, we mentioned him just a little while ago, Angelo Ronis in the number 25, or 29, excuse me. And then Adam Cabot, a recent winner in the Virtual Racing League Xfinity Series from Indianapolis. He's on the outside row number 3. Joshua Banks, 7th in the number 35 car. Eli Hinton, the SimTV car, starting in 8th in that number 13 Toyota Camry. And then from row number 5, Bailey Turner in the number 24, alongside Josiah Vincent in the number 4 Chevrolet Camaro. We'll let the rest of that order scroll across the screen. Storylines to follow tonight, Finian. Tire wear. And also, the cars are really loose off the corner, so how do you manage that right rear and right front tire throughout a run?
Yeah, I think key is going to be making sure to keep the car going straight. You don't want to be sliding around on exit. It's going to really heat up and wear out those right side tires. So you want to make sure you're going as straight as possible, minimize the amount of spinning you have on those tires so you can make them last throughout the run.
Field working right through turns 1 and 2. We're going green this time by. A couple of drivers have to start towards the tail of the field. Bruce Boyer, one of them, starting from 18th place. And Casey Lakatos all the way back in 20th for the start of this event. Working our way through turns 3 and 4, the Ford F500 pace cars to make a hard left onto pit lane. A pretty tricky entry when you're coming in under green. It's so far from the racing surface. But as we come through turns 3 and 4, 180 laps, green flag flies, we're racing in Richmond.
Yeah, Butler off to a start already. He didn't even wait for the green flag to drop. He jumps, and he's going to lead the guys down into turn 1. It looks like Stravato is going to get 2nd place.
Field works their way through turns 1 and 2, and a battle up front. You mentioned it, Finian, but how about midfield? Look at the 35 of Joshua Banks popping right out of line, trying to get in behind Angelo Ronis and to the inside of Eli Hinton, who's already gained a spot up to 7th. He's going to power around the outside lane and try to get that spot away. There's Bailey Turner in the number 24, looking to the inside, off into turn number 1.
Yeah, 3 wide there for a second. Eli Hinton able to make it around Banks, and he shuts the door on the 24.
Adam Cabot now under attack from the 29 of Ronis as they make their way down into turn number 3, and double wide behind the new guy, Brandon Gagnon in the 83. He's moving his way up the 25 car. Oh, we got a car in the fence. Alex Bell up in the wall in turns 3 and 4. He looks like he collects himself, though. No caution.
Yeah, so far everyone off to a great start already. Butler, Stravato, Everson, your top 3.
The laps go by quick here, about 20 seconds for a lap, and these are much quicker lap times than we're used to with this higher downforce package. The corner speeds are up, and so is the intensity. And this battle for 5th continuing to rage on. Ronis and Cabot duking it out. That outside lane might be more of a place to be later in the night once the rubber makes that inside groove a bit slicker, but you have to watch out for marbles too. Look at Bailey Turner. He's flying through the field to start this night. Started in ninth. He's up to 7th already, looking for 6th.
Yeah, he's really starting to get a grip for this car, as he said, starting to move up to the front. And as he just gets to the inside of Ronis, he's going to be able to... No, I thought he was going to clear him there. Ronis still fighting back on the outside.
Again, much like a lot of other racetracks we go to, that outside lane, not a great place to make passes, but it certainly is good for defense, although Bailey Turner's going to get this, and now Ronis has to go on defense for the 35 of Joshua Banks. And we always talk about how Josh requires a good starting position to have a good run, and he started well inside the top 15. He actually started in 7th. That's where he remains, so we expect a lot of good things, provided his internet holds out tonight.
Yeah, I wasn't going to say anything because I was going to say it's holding well at the moment.
He did flash a couple times, so hopefully it hangs on for the rest of the night. Eli Hinton still battling for 8th, and he's trying to get a spot from Banks, but he's going to go by Ronis. Ronis going backwards. He started in 5th. He's already back to 9th, so struggling here in the early part of the run.
Yeah, and up in the top, Jeff Wright's caught Mark Emerson for 3rd place in this battle, starting to heat up between these guys.
And AJ Stravado, how about him? We mentioned last season didn't really end on a great note. This season didn't start on a great note, but he's finally starting to get the results he needed.
Yeah, it's really with that number change in last week, too. He's just been on a really good run, sprint of races, and hopefully continue it here, running in 2nd place.
Ronis and Josiah Vincent battling right here for 9th place, and Josiah in the number 4, Jeremiah in the number 8. He's right behind as they make their way off of turn number 2. And so far, so good, Finney. We have to keep an eye on the pit stop cycle. You can go a long way. This track's only 3/4 of a mile, so you can really go a pretty far distance before coming to pit road. But we mentioned, we saw last night in the Virtual Racing League, lots of guys getting caught for speeding and other pit road-related incidents. We'll see if they've learned something after that Xfinity race at Chicago.
Yeah, and Ronis is right now looking at him. He's kind of struggling. Started in 5th. He's already back in 10th place and might still continue to drop back if Jeremiah Vincent gets around him.
How about Tim Downey Jr. in the number 25? Started 11th. He's fallen 2 spots to 13th, but trying to get one away from Brandon Gagnon, the new guy on the block. He started 15th. He's gained 3 spots up to 12th. That 83 Napa car, you see him get loose out of turn number 2, and we'll be watching that all night. Drivers struggling with the drive off of turns 2 and turns 4.
And if you want to talk about guys who've really moved up to the field, look further back, and you'll find Chris Parkman started in 23rd, up to 16th for him.
Yeah, so he's already flying up through the field in that Shell car. And just behind there's Zach Halpern and Robert Gaba. Remember Halpern at Martinsville a couple weeks ago was really dissatisfied with a lot of the driving that was going on, and I'm sure he's still got some of those grudges carrying over, so we'll keep an eye on that front bumper later tonight.
Oh! Ortega spinning on the front straightaway.
Ortega spun out. Caution out here early, and it looks like just some minor damage to the left rear. So lap 13 will be our first yellow. And this is the first couple weeks. We're going quite well for Ortega. Won a race back at Martinsville, and then, as of last week, had begun to struggle. And here's a look. He just gets off the corner and just gets loose, and it just gets away from him here, Finian, and he tank slaps the wall with the left and left front and rear.
Yeah, should ride on board with Robert Gaba. He got a very good view of that.
Here's a look from on board the 75 as they make their way through turns 3 and 4. See the 2 car already tank slapping. Whoa, he did a great job missing that. And he gets on through. And a driver we haven't talked about yet tonight, Finian, is the driver of the number 18 car. That is Alec Martinez. And was a winner of the last event we had, and sitting 23rd right now, hasn't really gone anywhere, so we'll see what he does on this pit stop sequence as the field makes their way down.
Yeah, pit stop's underway here. Imagine everyone's pretty much going to get 4 tires.
Oh, AJ Stravado.
Yep. Yeah.
And he's just going to give up, I think. Yeah, he didn't even get
Actually, looking at his car, he has some rear end damage. Oh, someone hit him coming into his pit stall.
We'll take a look at that, see how that happened. But Stravado, I don't think he ended up getting service here. So
no, he didn't.
Let's take a look. This is Mark Emerson was behind him and tags him right in the rear bumper. Now, does Emerson have any nose damage on that car? And I can't really get a great look, so let's head back live and let's see.
He does, especially to the left front.
Yeah, it's not. He's got it mostly fixed, at least on my end here, so he should be okay. But he lost a lot of track position. He started up towards the front, all the way up in second, and now he's 25th. So bad start for the 22 and the 33. Still works their way off of turn 2. One driver did not pit, and that is Casey Lakatos in the number 50. Maybe just to lead a lap. He'll probably come down and get tires and fuel here. I think they're going to be a hot commodity tonight because those tires will wear off quick, especially with how these drivers have to drive these cars right on that right rear tire.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Ortega get loose there, and that was only 15 laps into a run. And I can imagine a lot of the other guys were facing some similar conditions, but were able to manage it. And yeah, Casey Lakatos is coming in. That'll give the lead back to Adam Cabot.
Butler is the leader, I believe.
Oh, sorry.
Yep, so Casey Lakatos is going to come into his pit stall and come to a sliding stop and receive his service. And Jeff Wright is our in-race reporter, but we'll talk to him a bit later. We'll hold off for now since it's so early. We'll let him get settled in a bit. But how about Brandon Gagnon, a new driver in the series in that Napa number 83? We talked about him. Qualified 15th. He's driven his way up to 12th and then gained a couple spots in that pit stop sequence. He's up inside the top 10 already. This is a good showing by the new guy on the block.
Yeah, definitely a great showing for him, and we'll see what he can do as the run continues on. Still, you have to get a really long green flag run, but we've kind of sort of seen some guys gravitate towards the front and some guys drop towards the back.
So every driver still running that started this race. Reggie Ortega is down on pit lane, and he's going to receive service and head back out on the racetrack. A long stop for him, but he'll stay on the lead lap. And we're getting the one to green already. So quick cautions here at Richmond. So Butler is going to reassume the lead. And looks like Adam Cabot in the number 77, a winner from the VRL series at Indianapolis a few weeks ago, finally got a victory in one of the two leagues and looking for his first Cup Series win tonight. He'll start outside row number 1 on the restart. Eli Hinton up to 5th. Bailey Turner gained a couple spots in that sequence as well. He'll be starting 4th in the outside lane, that number 24, that purple car there. I wish I knew more about rock bands, Finian, because I would tell you a whole lot about these cars if I could. But
Yeah.
I don't dislike rock, I just don't know that much about it. So out of turn number 4, pace car pulls off, green flag flies again, and Butler takes him on again to the green flag.
Yeah, great start by him. Eli Hinton going
Whoa.
up the middle, 3 wide into 1.
3 wide for a moment. We almost tried 4 wide for a second, but they thought better of it. Hinton's trying to get 3rd spot away. It looks like he will, but he's got to clear that 77, who might take a look at the outside lane here, but behind him there is the 20 or 25 of Tim Downey Jr. looking to the inside of Ronis. And Ronis trying to power back on the outside, but up towards the front. Hinton gets 3rd away from Cabot, and Joshua Banks looks for 4th on the 77.
Yeah, 77 backed off in 2, and now he's starting to pay the prices. He's going to get potentially passed by 35. Banks couldn't get the run out the corner. Here comes Cabot charging down the back straightaway.
Butler leads, but only by an inch as Jeff Wright putting pressure on the rear bumper of the 6 as they make their way out of turn number 4. Butler's led most of the lap so far tonight, and he's got the 48 all over his rear bumper as they make their way through turns 1 and 2, but don't count out that 13 and the 35 of Banks behind. We mentioned his starting position. He runs so much better when he starts up front, and he's already running inside the top 5 for tonight. Look at Wright putting pressure on the back of the 6 as they make their way out of turn 4.
Yeah, he's really starting to mount the pressure on the 6, trying to force him into a mistake. And we'll see if Butler can hold him off. Butler, a guy we haven't seen in victory lane, or really have some good runs, but here he is now up in first, having a great run tonight.
Bailey Turner dropped a spot here on this restart. He's going to probably lose another spot because Banks had already gotten by him, and now he's trying to get by the 77 at Cabot. Can't quite get it done, and look who's lurking right behind, Jeremiah Vincent. Remember the controversy the last time we were here with the Vincent brothers, Josiah and Jeremiah, and the incident between them and Connor Horn. There was a lot of discussion after that led to a bunch of really intense battles throughout the rest of the season, but they've made up their differences, I believe, and Connor Horn over the I-rating cap for the series, so no longer competes in Outsider Racing League competition, but Butler is really struggling to keep that 48 behind him.
Yeah, he's struggling, but has been able to keep Jeff Wright behind him there. But again, it's more of a question of how long will he be able to hold that 48, because he's been making some very aggressive moves.
Is it too early to do a bump and run here, Finian? Do you think you can get away with it now and just pass it off as a mistake, or do you want to save that and keep it in your back pocket for later?
Oh, you definitely want to keep it in your back pocket for later. I think you want to save it for another 130 laps.
Looks like Eli Hinton's getting pressure from Joshua Banks now, and Banks is going to look to the inside off into turn number 3. Oh, that's tight racing there as they make their way through 3 and 4.
And Banks trying to make the move, but Hinton really strong. I've seen him really strong out of 4 as well as some other cars on that outside lane. Definitely seems to be more viable there.
So the top two.
Whoa,
Whoa, 35 all out of shape. Wow. And he saves it, but he's going to have to keep it down on the apron and not wipe out here. And he gets back on the racetrack, but he's going to drop about 5 to 6 positions here. Maybe more.
Yeah, he's going to be back in 10th, potentially 11th if Chris Garrett can get to him.
And so chaos around the 35. He just lost it, put too much throttle out of the corner, but up front, Wright continuing to just lean all over the back of the 6 car. And we have a car down on pit lane. It's William Troy, and he's got significant left front damage. Didn't see where he picked that up, but coming down to service the car. Banks trying to wrestle some spots back. It's going to get really aggressive back here, Finian. Look at that's Zach Halpern and Tim Downey Jr. Chris Garrett following in the tire tracks. How about Chris Garrett, Finian, in that number 57 car? A driver that shot out of a cannon when his first race at Las Vegas last season. We haven't quite seen the pace out of him that we would have expected this season, but I think there's still a victory in sight for him, maybe at a 1.5 mile track later this season.
Yeah, definitely so, and I could kind of say the same for Zach Halpern. He came on to a very good start, but it's kind of fizzled out just a little bit into the midfield. We'll see if he'll be able to turn around tonight as he's slowly moving up through the field.
Brandon Bowers in the Toyota number 31. Another new name I'm not really super familiar with, so probably a new entry to the series. Angelo Ronis and Banks going at it for 9th. Looks like Banks is going to get this away. But whoa, all sideways out of turn 4. Elliott Butler slips, and Jeff Wright goes around the outside and takes that lead away down into turn number 1. Let's watch the replay of that. That was awesome. There's a look at it. This is down into turn number 3, and the 48 was putting pressure on the outside, and the 6 car just had to throttle up to try to clear him and just couldn't quite get there. Slipping, sliding, and the 48 takes the lead.
Yeah, great maneuver there by Jeff Wright. So new leader up in the front. Let's see if the 48 is able to pull away, or will Butler be able to stay with him?
He's already put 3.5 tenths on him. How about the 20 and the 57 going at it? This is for 11th spot on the racetrack. And then just behind, I see a number 18 poking through in the bright blue car. Alec Martinez, our most recent winner, charging his way through the field after starting all the way back in 26. He's up 11 spots here on lap 33.
Who will also battle for 3rd, heating up between Eli Hinton and Bailey Turner. Turner's been sending it into the corner quite a few times, trying to get around the 13.
And Hinton enters the corner really high and protects that outside lane, so he gets a better run off the corner. It seems like it's helping him. I think Turner's a bit quicker right now, but just can't get around him. You see Turner really driving in hard off into turn number 1. Josiah Vincent and Joshua Banks for 8th place. Banks is trying to claw his way back, and he's done a good job the last couple laps after that slip up out of turn number 2, fighting with Eli Hinton. But Bailey Turner, he just wearing out the rear bumper of Eli Hinton at the moment. He was almost made contact with him down in turn 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's been playing with inches quite a few times. I think he's just trying to force that 13 out of line. He's got a fender in there now, but just can't beat the 13 on exit.
Yeah, again, I talked about the outside lane not really being a place to pass, but you can hold a driver off, and that's what Hinton's doing right now. He's running about 1.5 lanes off the bottom of the racetrack to kind of bait the 24 into taking that inside groove, but the 24 can't throttle up and get the run off the corner he needs to get by the 13, so it's keeping him behind. You see Cabot closing the gap now as the 13's holding up the 24. William Troy is now 5 laps down after fixing that damage to his race car.
Yeah, tough break for him for whatever happened to him, that he got put back in such a position. But yeah, pretty much a night over for him. He's just kind of out there running for points at this moment.
Banks getting around Brandon Gagnon for 7th place, and he'll get another spot back after slipping all the way to 11th.
Whoa, Elliott Butler sideways on the front straightaway.
He's really been struggling with that car. Ever since he lost the lead, it just does not have any rear grip in that thing. So maybe he took off too fast, Finian, and burned the rear tires off it and struggling for grip later in the run. We've only been going for about 23 laps, but that's certainly enough to wear out your stuff. And now look at Turner just putting so much pressure on the back of Eli Hinton.
Yeah, he's putting in an immense amount of pressure, trying to find a way around, and has been kind of, I can imagine, just a little bit frustrated being stuck in behind that 13.
And he's going to take another look. He's just been driving down to the inside, but what's the risk down there, Finian, is you enter the corner so low, you can easily slide up, and remember the famous Kyle Busch v. Dale Jr. in 2008, so easy to lock up your tires heading off, especially into turn number 3, and easy to clear somebody out. Look at them door to door through 1 and 2. This is a battle for third, and whoa, Turner gets loose out of turn 2.
Yeah, the problem is that he can't really run down there for much longer because he gave a little bit of bump to 13 there. But yeah, you can't really run down there for much longer. He's slowly wearing out his tires a lot more than he would be if he was taking a more conventional line.
Yeah, he's just really throwing it in there for all it's worth now, using up those brakes quite a bit. He's down to the inside of the 13, but just can't get the run. Maybe we can ride on board the right front suspension and take a look. Those brake rotors glowing on, that's the 13 actually. How about the 24 of Turner? We'll ride on board down here to turn number 1 and see how much he's working his brakes. And not as much as the 13, Finian. So actually, it looks like Hinton's the one that's struggling. Bailey Turner just taking his time. And I think he could move the 13 out of the way if he wanted to, but I think he's being patient for now.
Yeah, kind of looking through the timesheets, and well, it didn't reflect last time through, but one of the fastest cars on the racetrack was, before that last lap, was Joshua Banks, put in at 21.2. which is on par with the leaders, and he's slowly moving his way back up. He's up into 7th now, trying to get around Jeremiah Vincent in 6th.
I'm just shocked that Joshua Banks doesn't have more race victories, but when you take into account the speed that he has every single week, most of the time it's incidents or hardware failures that have kept him out of victory lane. And it's just so frustrating because he is one of the fastest guys. At certain racetracks, he's unstoppable, but just has such bad luck. Remember Indianapolis last season in the Virtual Racing League missed the chase because of an internet failure. And now look at Elliott Butler, who is leading this race. He's now fallen all the way back to Eli Hinton and Bailey Turner. This is now a 3-car fight for the 2nd spot.
Ooh, speaking of which, here comes Bailey Turner. This is the best chance he's had of getting around Hinton, but he's not going to be able to beat him off the corner here, and that's where he's been struggling.
And it's a bit safer to lean on a driver's door panel than it is to lean on their quarter panel. And now Bailey Turner's got enough of his car alongside to maybe do that, but he's keeping it clean right now. Hinton leads that lap by a hair, but the 24 car is coming, and it's only a matter of time at this point. Look at the 24 drive up hard into the corner. And not going to be able to clear him yet, but he's getting closer and closer every lap.
Oh yeah, and they almost door each other there on the back straightaway again, guys. Playing with inches here. But doing a great job of keeping their cars under control. And yeah, Turner's starting to stall out here. Hinton slightly winning on the outside. Both of them loose off the 4.
Great battle here. But now the 24 gets a better rotation through the center, but the 13 just unstoppable on corner exit, and that's where he's beating the 24. But I can tell he's getting frustrated, Bailey Turner is. And he lays a bumper to him there. Some damage to the left rear of the 13. And Turner, as I said, he's running out of patience. He's going to root the 13 up out of the way and take that spot away down into turn number 1.
Ooh, and Adam Kavanaugh behind him.
Oh, he gets turned! And they crash both of them into the fence out of turn number 2, and the 13 and 24 are in the fence. And just like that, rubbing is racing, Finian, but they got together there for sure. I don't know what you have to say about that one, but
no, I don't think much needs to be said about that.
I mean,
I think everyone knows what happened there.
Yeah, that was a payback move, but it didn't really work out too great for the 13. He gets in there, just roots the 24 up out of the way, and they both end up slipping and sliding into the fence, and both of them can lose a bunch of spots on this exchange. The 13 got the worst end of it, though. I bet the radio chatter is probably pretty interesting to listen to right now. And the 24 did slip up there, and I don't know if the 13 was expecting that, but either way, I can guarantee you I don't think the 24 will agree on what happened there. Pit stops.
Oh, yeah, no, I can imagine they're going to be arguing for a while about who's to blame there.
I don't think anybody's going to agree. William Troy is going to get one of his 5 laps back as the field comes into the pit lane, and curious to see. I don't think Bailey Turner has that much damage. It's mostly, it's actually pretty bad. The right rear's all torn off that thing. The right front doesn't look great, but I definitely think the 13 got the worst end of that accident. Although his car actually doesn't look quite as bad as Turner's, so they're both pretty torn up, and I doubt they're happy with how that went down. Well, Jeff J. Wright came out of the pits leading this thing, Finian. How about we talk to him real quick? Hey, Jeff Wright, it's Kyle from SimTV. Got a copy?
Yeah, I do, Kyle. How's it going?
It's going well up here. It's going well for you down there, it looks like as well. You took the lead away from Elliott Butler, who was struggling on that previous run. What are the conditions out there right now? It seems pretty slick on corner exit.
Yeah, right now with the sun still setting, it is a little bit slick and makes it a little bit difficult to take care of your tires. And, I mean, just being behind somebody with the aerodynamics of this package, you get so tight. And so once I was able to get some clean air, the car felt a whole lot better. But I imagine as we get down to nighttime, this track's just going to continue to speed up and should be pretty exciting.
As we work our way towards the race, we just saw our first car-to-car incident here, Jeff. Is it too early to be leaning on people, or you want to save that in your back pocket for later, or is that just kind of part of the experience around a short track like this?
I mean, yeah, that's short track racing. I mean, I was, when I was behind Elliott Butler, I got into him a little bit, gave him a little tap. It's going to happen, but track position just so important here that you kind of can't wait. You just got to go, because if you're not in the top 5, with about 30, 40 laps to go, you're not going to have a shot to win. So I understand why people are in a hurry. But yeah, it's just a thing of short track racing. You're going to see a little bumping and banging for sure.
In terms of saving your tires and stuff, you mentioned how there's a lot of tire wear. What do you do to keep the pressure off that right rear? Do you prefer the outside line to save your stuff, or do you like the inside for the speed down there?
At the beginning of the run, you definitely want to be at the bottom of the track. That's where it's going to be fastest. As the tires wear and track rubbers in a little bit, that top really did come in. You saw me able to get past the 6 actually on the top. So there's grip up there, but I try not to go up there too quickly, because I feel like that could actually wear out your tires a little too quick. I might be thinking use that defensively if somebody starts getting into my inside. I think that top could be a pretty good place to be, just to try to hold off somebody.
All right, Jeff, we'll let you go and get back to work. Good luck out there. We'll talk to you later.
All right, thanks, Kyle.
No problem. So Jeff Wright leading this race. He'll be on the inside of Elliott Butler, who was our previous leader. Look at Joshua Banks restarting 3rd, Jeremiah Vincent 4th, Adam Cabot 5th, Josiah Vincent in 6th, Chris Garrett and Zach Halpern 7th and 8th, Angelo Ronis, Brandon Gagnon, your top 10. Field rolling through turns 3 and 4 after our second caution on the night. That 53 of 180, about only 45 minutes of racing left if they go green from here. Green flag's back in the air, and Wright takes off.
Yeah, he takes off in quite a hurry there, trying to hold off everyone else and trying to lead everyone else into the corner. There you see Joshua Banks, he's up in 3rd, trying to get around the 6 car.
Zach Halpern almost lost it down in turn 1 in the middle of a 3-wide situation, but you mentioned Banks, he's going to take 2nd spot away from Butler, and he's going to set his sights on the lead of this race. He's going to slide up right in front of Butler in turn number 4. Look at Adam Cabot back there, but Halpern now putting pressure on, actually that's Chris Garrett that he's putting pressure on in that number 20 car. So Halpern moving his way forward, and behind him, the 83 of Gagnon and Ronis close together out of turn 2, and just behind, there's the new guy, Tim Downey Jr., another one of the new drivers in this field. He's been here a couple weeks, but putting pressure on the 83 of Gagnon and the 31 of Brandon Bowers.
Ooh, Bowers in the wall is a little bit off of 4, and no harm, no foul for him.
That 83 is pretty beat up. He's got some nose damage as well, so he's been in the back of somebody, and I see a big dent on the rear of that 29 car, so I think Ronis has been run into at least a couple times tonight. And Downey Jr. heads to the inside of the 31. Emerson and Stravato, after their incident on pit lane, they have not made a whole lot of progress. They're stuck back in 15th and 16th now, trading spots right behind Alec Martinez, who also hasn't made as much progress as we would have expected, but still a lot of racing left.
Yeah, again, I think really now, too, is just kind of key to just keep yourself out of trouble and just kind of run your own race, let the laps kind of run out, let the cautions happen, and then slowly move your way up to the front.
Bailey Turner and Eli Hinton right around each other at the moment, back in 20th and 21st. Caution crashed in turn 1.
With Mark Emerson.
And Emerson crashed in turn 1. This night has just gone from bad to worse for the points leader. And he's got even more damage now. This is not what you need as a points leader. And ooh, there was some contact here with the 33 Estravato. Here's a look from up above. Oh, it looks like the 22 cut over to get by the 18. And 33 wasn't really expecting that. They just got together. No intention there. There's bad timing.
Yeah, pretty much just racing, and so they're just poor timing. Unfortunately, the 22 is going to have to pay the price for it. So he's going to, again, he's lucky, though. He does have that big points lead, but I'm sure probably would have rather been without all the damage to his car.
Alex Bell in the 15 got a piece of it as well. Here's his view of the incident. Yeah, the 22 cut over right in front of the 33, and then Bell almost gets by, but has some pretty significant right front damage. So are we going to see another pit stop sequence here, Finney? It looks like we are, as the field makes their way down, except a couple of drivers decided to stay out. Wright, Banks, Vincent, Ortega, Eli Hinton, Bailey Turner, and others. But from Butler on back, the rest of the field comes to pit road.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that Ortega, Hinton, and Turner didn't decide to pit just to kind of take this opportunity to fix up the damage while you can.
Well, I think...
Especially Hinton and Turner, considering they're already back there.
I think this is just a track position gain here, Finney. I think you're definitely at risk in the mid-pack, and I think this is really just trying to get their track position back after their incidents, and they've only been out there for about 10 laps, which is going to matter. Don't get me wrong. They're going to go backwards, but it will probably be a net gain for them, especially if there's a caution in another 15 to 20 laps. So strategy call here for the 13, the 24, and a couple other drivers. But Jeff Wright retains the lead in at number 48. And Wright, remember back to Sonoma, Finian, when he ended up winning that race. Came out really strong at the beginning of the season. Haven't seen a ton of him since then. He's been up front, but hasn't really been competing for wins, and that changes tonight at Richmond. Out of turn 2, the field rolls off, and no retirements tonight. But you know who's loving this right now is William Troy. He was 5 laps down, and he is only 3 laps down now. So he has gained a bunch of his laps back. Mark Emerson has fallen 1 down, and that damage probably pretty significant. He's been making a couple pit stops, this one over a minute long.
Yeah, again, he's just trying to, I guess, fix that car as much as possible before he gets back up there again. And pretty heavy damage to the right rear, specifically, so hopefully he can get that in a decent shape and back out there. Just, you know, pretty much for him, the rest of the night's going to be just about gaining points.
And preventing second place driver in points from getting any ground on him. And we'll take another look at the point standings. And the second place driver is Angelo Ronis, who right now is running in the 9th position. And Jeff Wright, who's 3rd in the standings, is leading this race. He's 31 points behind Emerson, so he wouldn't be able to get up to him this race, but he could take a huge chunk out of that points lead if he were to win this race tonight. It looks like Zach Halpern has a bit of front-end damage as well. I didn't see where he got it from. It's not major, but he's definitely been in the back of somebody. And the battle scars already appearing. Reggie Ortega, Eli Hinton, Bailey Turner, Zach Halpern. And it's a bunch of... Ronis up here as well. He's got damage. People leaning on each other early. We're just past the 3rd point of this race. And already some of these cars looking like they just rolled off the truck from Martinsville.
Yeah, I mean, typically bound to happen here at a short track like this, and also people being a little physical in the first half of this race. Still got over half of it to go.
Field rolls onto the back straightaway now. And Elliott Butler, I worry about him a little bit, Finney, and he led the majority of the beginning of this race and has fallen back, and it doesn't seem like he's been able to grab any of those spots back, so we'll keep an eye. This is a very important, telling run for the 6 car of Butler to see if he can grab any of those spots back. Pace car's going to roll off. We've seen the leader jump immediately as soon as that pace car's in. Wright holding on later. There he goes. He fires off, and we're racing again here in Virginia.
Ooh, and Eli Hinton got a great start. No, how about Bailey Turner going down below the 13, diving down below into turn 1?
Well, I'm going to try it again this time, and I think the 24 is going to get it a bit easier. Not quite done yet. Halpern looking to the inside of the 24. Not going to be able to get that job done, though. See right in front of them, that's Josiah Vincent and Reggie Ortega. That's fighting for 3rd.
Yeah, Ortega's going to have to surrender that spot. Josiah Vincent can move himself into 3rd. Here comes Bailey Turner on the inside of Ortega now.
Turner's definitely quick. That damage doesn't seem to be slowing him down. Ortega tight out of turn 2. Halpern to the inside as well.
Ooh, aggressive moves by the 24. I'm not sure the 20 is entirely liking it so much. He has to be careful here.
Rona's trying to grab some spots as well, but there's the 20 of Halpern down to the inside. He's been moving up a lot those last couple of runs, and he's going to get 4th spot away and slide right up in front of Bailey Turner out of 2. Turner's going to cross him over and try again to get by him. Adam Cabot throwing a block on the 57 of Chris Garrett down into turn number 1, and Elliott Butler and Eli Hinton sliding backwards on this restart, and a big gaggle of cars behind him, including the 8 of Jeremiah Vincent. Tim Downey Jr.'s back here, Bruce Boyer as well.
Yeah, and Hinton looks like he's started to drop back with that car. I don't think the tires are helping, and same with the damage too. He's slowly starting to slip back as Garrett's getting underneath him, and now Ellie Butler trying to get on by.
Jeff Wright has a 0.3 of a second lead. He has not been able to extend it over that on Joshua Banks, and Banks actually a touch quicker last time by. And it looks like Ortega's struggling now too. He's got Cabot to the inside. Chris Garrett putting pressure on him as well. So this staying out strategy not working very well, but it was worth a try, I think, this early in the race.
Yeah, I think it might be due more for damage on the two.
Oh, crash behind him. Alec Martinez involved, the 31 of Brandon Bowers, and it looks like that is the 19 of Chris Parkman also involved. And that 31 car is destroyed. That is our 4th caution on the night. Let's take a look at how this one happened. Ooh, the 19 of Parkman is already loose, and he corrects it right back into the 18 and 31. That was just horrible for the 31. He was just had nowhere to go to miss that one.
Yeah, Martinez and Boyer did a great, Bowers did a great job slowing down for it, but yeah, then the 19 ended up overcorrecting into the outside and ended up hitting both of them.
Yeah, look, Martinez almost made his way through it and then just got tagged at the end. And I don't think the 18 is all that hurt. He's got some fairly significant right side damage, but nothing to the nose. And that's one of those points, Finney, when you're spinning, you just got to kind of lock it down and prevent anything worse from happening, and that's what can happen if you don't lock it down all the way. Jordan Ashland just slides through, and look at, who was that in the, it's that Clifton Cockrell in the 16 Valvoline car. Watch on board the 16. He sees this crash already happening. The 18 flips up the racetrack, and then watch this 16 car just take a hard left. And he misses it by that much. Great driving there by Cockrell. You know what we should talk to, Finney, is we should talk to Bailey Turner in the 24. We owe him one after he was in Race Reporter a couple weeks ago, and I'm curious what he has to say about that incident with the 13 earlier tonight. Hey, Bailey Turner, it's Kyle from SimTV. Got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, Bailey. Well, tonight started off with a spin into the fence, but you've rebounded a little bit. But talk to us about that incident with the 13 and how your car's handling after the incident.
I'm going to try to bite my tongue a little bit, but I'll just say that's how that kid likes to drive, racing people like that at the beginning of the race. So he decided he was going to dump me after I moved him out of the way. So that's what happened there. And the car, not too bad. I'm on older tires right now, trying to hold off these guys. I'll try to get on the same cycle. We go about 10, 20 laps, but kind of just trying to hold my position right now.
How's the car handling with that damage? It's okay so far?
As far as I can tell, it's all right. I think it might just be a tick off the pace, but it'll hold.
All right, Bailey. Well, good luck out there. Hope things turn around for you and get yourself back up there. We'll talk to you later.
Thank you.
All right, Finney. So the temper is already flying here. We knew they wasn't going to be happy about it, but yeah, I mean, I agree with him there. I don't really think there was any need for the 13 to go around and do that. I think it was pretty self-explanatory what happened there. But Bailey Turner not happy about it, and that could bite the 13 in the rear end when next time we go to a short track or later tonight. So we'll keep an eye on those two. But Jeff Wright leading this race. Joshua Banks was putting pressure on him for the lead. I think once you get that 35 out front, he's going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be key here is getting a good start. He's going to be starting on the outside, and we've seen the leader really benefit from the restarts here, especially compared to the second place. So he's going to have to kind of time this and make sure he doesn't lose track of the 48. Otherwise, he could lose a spot in turn 1.
So lights on the pace car are going to go out this time, and we'll set him up for a restart. How about Josiah Vincent? We haven't talked a whole lot about him tonight. He's got Foo Fighters on the hood of that thing and Coca-Cola on the side. And remember the last time we were here, there was a lot of drama and discussion around the 4, and at that time the 42 car of Connor Horn. But Josiah is probably massively underrated at this racetrack, and he's sitting in 3rd, which is a great place to be if you want to move up spots right behind the leader on the restart. He's got Halpern to his outside, who's also clawed his way up through the field, and Ronis back to his starting position or right around it in 6th. And Bailey Turner and Reggie Ortega starting in 7th and, or I think that's 5th and 7th, I believe. Pace car off. Jeff Wright leads him back down. Green flag in the air again.
Yeah, he gets off to a great start. Not so much for the 35, but 35 is going to be able to slot into 2nd.
Turner 3 wide down into turn 1.
Yeah, 3 wide behind him.
He grabs a spot away from Vincent. Vincent really struggling on this restart. Ronas is going to grab a spot away from him as well and make their way down into turn 3. Caution. Martinez again. And William Troy also gets turned around.
Oh, and they start on the back straightaway.
And did it start with the 18? I didn't really get a good look at it here. Oh, wow.
No, it actually didn't.
There's the 87 and the 14 get together. And the 18 pounds the wall, but what happened here? Let's get a look from up above, and maybe this will give us a better idea. There's William Troy, who's laps down. Don't forget that. There's, oh, the 27 and 75 are already out of shape, and the 87 and 14 just get together, and Alec Martinez got the worst end of that, I think, unfortunately. But the 27 and 75 were close together. And something happened here. Gaba, does he just get loose? Yeah, he just hooks the apron, and it checks everybody up. And then Alec Martinez, right behind the 87 and 14, get together. He tags rear end of Boyer and hard into the inside concrete. No safer barrier there, and that car is going to probably spend a lot of time in pit lane to get back to working order. Also in pit lane, we should mention, Chris Parkman, Mark Emerson, looks like they are both retired from this race, at least for now. Bruce Boyer is also retired, and William Troy, he's back out on the racetrack still, but I think Alec Martinez is going to find that car's pretty difficult to repair.
Yeah, I think a tough break for him. Actually, with Mark Emerson, he's actually still in his car, so I don't know, he might still actually get back onto the track here.
Well, I think he needs to. I mean, this is a short track. We're almost halfway through this race, and we're starting to have guys drop out like flies. So if you're the 22, you got to get back in that car and get any points that you can, especially when Jeff Wright and Angelo Ronas are having such good nights, because those are the guys that you're fighting in the standings. As we get closer and closer to the chase, you're going to want to have those points cushions so you can afford a mulligan later in the season. So caution out. This is the 5th caution on the night. We've been pacing for 21 laps, 3 lead changes. And Joshua Banks just wants this to go green. I think he's got the car to get there up in front of the 48, but it's so hard on these restarts because the inside lane has such a huge advantage because the leader can go whenever he wants, and it's so hard to get grip on that outside on the restart.
Yeah, we saw Banks just struggle a little bit there before he was able to get to slot himself in second place, but yeah, again, he won't be entirely that fortunate as much, but yeah, I would say honestly the 20 has more of a shot at getting the lead at this point than the 35 on the restart.
So field rolling around again under yellow. A couple other drivers I'm surprised about. Vinny and Jordan Ashland has not made a whole lot of progress tonight. Not a scratch on that car yet, but that Megadeth, that sounds ridiculous. The Megadeth Camaro still riding around in 18th. And he started back in 27th, so it's not like he hasn't gone anywhere, but just hasn't gone as far as we would have thought. And we mentioned Alec Martinez's problems. Jeremiah Vincent, not sure what's up with him. He's in pit lane here, Finian, and receiving service, and they head back out on the racetrack with 4 tires and fuel.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened to him either. Just decided to come into pit road, so
Maybe
just
just
actually come in twice.
Maybe just, why not, right? Get yourself out of the mess, and tires and fuel-wise, Jeff Wright has been out on the racetrack for 30 laps, and Banks has been out for 30 as well. And it's kind of intermixed. There's about 10 laps difference between the 2 runs that we're on at the moment. But the top 2 are on the 30-lap-old strategy. Halpern is on 20-lap-old tires. And so that means this 20 car is probably going to be one to watch for the restart here. Pretty even intermixing of Chevys and Toyotas up front. I don't think there's any Fords in the field at all tonight, is there?
Not from what I can see.
And we need that Mustang. All right, pace car's going to roll off again after our 5th caution on the night. 100 laps to go. Jeff Wright alongside Joshua Banks. Green flag back in the air, and they're off.
Oh, and a very messy start here. Almost 3 wide. Actually, they are 3 wide as they head off in one with Josiah Vincent in the middle.
Bad place to be. Elliot Butler trying to get to the inside. He's below the yellow line, and a big stack up out of turn 2. The 4 is going to spin and put the 6 right in the middle of traffic, and they're going to collect 5, maybe 6 cars in the aftermath as the 6 spins right in front of the entire field on the back straightaway. And just like that, we go right back to caution. And this is a product of the restart being so crazy. Josiah got split 3 wide here, and it all started from there. And he might have gotten some help from the 6 as well. Maybe some net code there. And then the 4 just gets loose. Oh, the 83 got a big chunk of it too. What a shame for him. Mark Emerson's back out on track, by the way. He's 19 laps down, but another driver that got a really bad end of this is Tim Downey Jr. in the 25. His car's all torn to pieces. Here's his view.
Yeah, nowhere for a lot of those guys to go.
Oh, the 83 just clobbered the 25. He just came in there at 100 miles an hour and just drilled everybody. Right on board Brandon Gagnon's car here. Nothing he could do. He was on the brakes. Just can't stop that fast. A big mess out of turn 2. So with that, our 6th caution of the night. And Zach Halpern's taken 2nd spot away. And maybe Joshua Banks is happy with how that went down.
Yeah, Banks now going to be restarting in 3rd. So slight advantage to him, although we have seen that 2nd place has been getting some decent restarts as of late. So we'll see what Halpern can do up here in the front row.
Okay, so we got a couple pit stops underway for the drivers that were involved. Alex Bell, again, getting caught in other people's issues. That seems to be... I don't think he's ever caused a collision. I think he's just... Since he started in VRL, he's been mostly the result of them. I think maybe the only one he might have caused was at Daytona at the beginning of the year. He might have caused that wreck. I have to think back. But usually it's not his doing, and same story tonight. Elliott Butler, who had a promising start to the night, now in pit road with damage. He's going to go a lap down. Alec Martinez, he's still on the lead lap. That car's all beat to shreds, but he's trying to keep his car in the running. And the more drivers that drop out, Finney, the more points are available. So you got to make sure that if you're wrecked, you got to get yourself back out on the racetrack and get some freebies.
Yeah, that's what I'm sure a lot of these guys are trying to eye for, at least. But there haven't been too many retirements. The only guys who are retired are Chris Parkman and Bruce Boyer in the 14. So those are the only 2 guys out. Everyone else is still out there running laps. And we only got 19 cars on the lead lap.
So about 95 laps to go at the line here, Finney. We're almost halfway through. Who you got your eye on? I think, obviously, Jeff Wright. He's been running so well tonight. But Halpern, Banks, anybody else that could throw their hat in the ring?
I think Banks has got a good shot. He's been consistently running up there, other than that little incident that sent him back. But then he immediately drove himself back up inside the top 3 and hasn't left since. So I think that 35 has got a strong car. Again, just has to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes.
And it's so easy to make mistakes. We've seen that a couple times tonight with the 87 and 14 getting together on the back straight. And the 13 and the 33 getting together. That was definitely a mistake on the 13's part. So you don't want to make yourself mistakes, especially at a track like this. It's a short track, but I feel like at Martinsville you can get away with having a couple accidents, but here at Richmond the speeds are definitely higher. Close to 150 on the front straight, and that means that if you get yourself turned around, you're going to hit the wall hard. So back to the restart. We've seen the leader get a great advantage, but how does Halpern hold up on the outside for this try? And Joshua Banks now on the inside lane behind the leader. That's probably a blessing in disguise for the 35 after losing a spot on the last restart.
Again, have yet to see Halpern restart tonight so far. First time he's in the front row, so you got to see how if he's able to keep up with Jeff Wright.
Green flag again, and a big stack up here, and it looks like Lakatos might have gotten a rear ending from the 13, but we're off to the races down into turn 1, and the 48 got a flying restart.
Yeah, Halpern was able to stick in there as well. He's side by side with Joshua Banks as they try to race it out for 2nd place.
Off into turn 3, door to door. They're letting Wright get away, but they're 2 by 2, about 5 rows deep out of turn 4.
Yeah, still trying to short out Bailey Turner in the wall, and that's going to let Cabot get on by. Turner goes down to defend ahead of Stravato. And still up for 2nd place, still a good battle between them. And it looks like Banks is just able to edge ahead of Halpern.
Yeah, he gets that spot back and clears them. You mentioned Turner getting into the fence, hasn't slowed him down. How about the 57 of Garrett? He's clawing his way forward on the inside of Lakatos. And Eli Hinton trying to fight back after his incident. That car is all torn to pieces. Reggie Ortega, his bright yellow Hertz car is in the background here as well. Trying to recover his night after just not having pace this evening.
And how about Stravato in 7th place is after that earlier incident on pit road that put him back? He's up now in 7th and has been slowly climbing forward.
Clifton Cockrell in 12th after his big miss on the back straightaway with that previous accident. He's running okay. Some contact there between the 13 and the 50, and Lakatos goes up the racetrack. And looks like Jeremiah Vincent's going to take advantage of that tight number 50 as well. They'll try to take that spot away. Lakatos enters in high, try to get a good run off the corner. And the 8 car's going to try to clear him. Close quarters there. Can't quite get it done, does the 8 car.
Yeah, looks like Lakatos is not going to be able to get back to him, so he's going to clear for that spot. Now Cockrell and Lakatos are going to fight it out.
For the lead, though, Joshua Banks does not let Wright get away. He's so close. Look at the run the 35 gets off of turn 4, closing that gap. It's about a half a car length now down into turn 1, and all he needs to do is get in front of the 48, and if the caution comes out, then you have control, and it becomes infinitely easier to hold on. We've seen him clip the apron there at a 2 and lose all the ground he just made up.
Yeah, he's been running really aggressive lines, especially down on that apron. You gotta be very careful with that apron. I can easily send these cars around.
Off into turn 1, 145 miles an hour. I was going to do a sound surge, but there's too much action going on up front. I don't want to miss any passes for the lead here. So Wright continuing to lead. Joshua Banks trying to close that gap. Zach Halpern waiting in the wings if anything happens. And Adam Cabot having a very solid run inside the top 5 early here tonight.
Yeah, he's been kind of up and down a little bit around the top 5, but having a solid run in 4th and is in good position in case anything happens. So you see Banks all over the back bumper of Wright here. He dives in turn 3.
Deep on the brakes, trying to get that car to stick. Can't quite get it to do it, though. The 48's going to clear him out of turn number 4, and Banks will have to try all over again.
Yeah, definitely seeing that Banks has the pace to keep up with Wright, but not entirely showing the pace to pass him.
He really burned those tires up out of turn 2, throttled up, and spun him. And that's going to hurt his performance here later in the run. And these guys have been out here for quite a while, Finian. 47 laps for leader Jeff Wright and second place Joshua Banks. They've been here a long time. Those tires are hurting now, and they got to make sure they take care of them.
Yeah, Halpern has 10-lap fresher tires compared to the guys up front. Again, kind of quite a few caution laps included in there, but still fresher nonetheless.
Completing lap number 97. Top 3 all within about a half a second of the leader, and Adam Cabot's keeping them in range. I see some smoke in turn 4.
That's Alex Bell.
Alex Bell, oh man. And that's a frustrating end of the night for him. Elliott Butler, he's 15 laps down, probably out of this race at this point, so frustrating night for a lot of good drivers here this evening.
Yeah, and Alex Bell looked like it was just an engine blew up on him as he was running around.
Eli Hinton, Chris Garrett fighting for 8th.
Yeah, and Hinton has slowly started to move up. He's going to get around Chris Garrett, move himself up in 8th place. So that 13's been slowly on the climb, which is amazing considering how damaged that car is.
Jordan Ashland beginning to claw his way forward. I mentioned earlier that I was surprised he hadn't made more progress, but maybe just waiting out the field to thin out a bit before before risking his body work to climb his way through the field. He's starting to set that thing forward, and he's lapping really quick right now and just needs some more track position to get himself into this fight. Banks just continues to put pressure on that 48, and it's just a matter of time. This is just like when Wright was fighting with Elliott Butler.
Garrett saw off the base of 4, and he hit the inside wall.
Oh yeah, he's really slow. Fell from 8th to 16th, actually make that 17th. Let's go back and take a quick look at what happened. Dove in behind the 13, just got loose, hooked the apron, and you mentioned it, hit the inside fence and lost a bunch of spots. AJ Stravato and Angelo Ronis trading spots for 6th. Stravato takes that spot away.
Yeah, and again, a great recovery for Stravato up into 6th place, getting around his teammates. So they're now going to try to set his sights on the 24, Bailey Turner, up ahead.
Joshua Banks looking down to the inside again. Again, I would start to think, do you think you can make a run on the outside work, or is that really just a defensive spot? I think Banks is going to have to try something different because he's burning up his tires trying to throttle up on the inside road.
I mean, honestly, it's worth a try. Again, you got to try to find something around him. I would say try that outside lane. It's worked. We've seen it work, people being able to build up runs, so you might be able to try a pass if you can set it up for it.
Look at him putting way pressure on the back of that 48 out of turn 2. He's going to have a look down into turn 3. Hard on the brakes. Does he make it stick this time? The 48 slips up the racetrack, but Wright's going to get a much better run out of turn 4. Close quarters, but the 35 got a great run down the front straight. He could clear him down here into turn 1 with the proper braking, and he's going to get it done as long as he can throttle up out of turn 2. He tries, can't quite clear the 48 just yet.
Oh, but you might be able to in 3 and 4 if he dives it in here, but the 48 drives it in. He's a little bit high here. He's going to try to get that run off the corner.
This is as close as he's been. Oh, the 48's in the fence. Scrapes the wall out of turn 4. And Banks has to clear him here. He cannot let this one get away from him. This is his best opportunity. He's using up his tires and his fuel to try to get by. And they're nose to nose on the back straight.
Yeah, last time throughout the line, there was 2,000s between them at the scoring. So these guys are very close on speed right now. And you see Halpern, too, behind them starting to reel him in.
Yeah, Banks needs to complete this pass. You cannot let this all this tire get wasted. And the 48's going to get the spot back. And Banks tried to move up the racetrack to give him a hit, but couldn't quite get there. Now he's going to throttle up a great run out of turn 2. He's going to drag race him down the back straightaway off into turn 3, but not going to be enough to get clear of the 48 just yet. And that's brought Halpern right back into the mix.
I was going to say Banks has to be a little bit careful. He can't afford to let Halpern get a lane on him because Halpern might be able to make a 3 wide here.
Which line do you choose to help here? Or do you just make your own? Oh, 35 slipped big time.
Yep, and there goes Halpern to the inside. Banks with a late defensive move. That was close.
And now they're all strung out again, and that's going to hurt Banks because he just wasted all that tire heat to not even get a spot out of it. So he's actually dropped back about 0.3 of a second.
57 on the wall, and in turn 4, caution's going to be out.
Oh, 87 collected as well. And our 7th caution on the night. And here's a look at it. 57 underneath the 83 of Brandon Gagnon. And he just slips up the racetrack, gets into him here, and just, big hit into the outside fence. And at 87, clobbered him in turn 4. And this was just, that's such a hard hit. And William Troy had nowhere to go. This has just been a bad night for William Troy ever since the drop of the green flag.
Yeah, he's just been caught in very, very bad situations, and that pretty much is going to end his night right there.
And what do you do? I mean, you can't do anything if you're in Troy's position. Elliot Butler did a pretty good job slowing down to miss that. I know his night's kind of slipped away as well. He's 20 laps down in 24th, but slammed on the brakes and just missed it. So caution out. Everyone's going to come down and get tires and fuel. You're easily good to the end here, I would think, Finian. But I imagine we're not going to have to go that far.
Yeah, I think these guys might be good. Again, you might have to do a little bit of saving, and I'm sure we're probably going to have a caution in between now and the finish at the rate we've been going at.
So my question now is, take a look at race off pit road. Anybody make any big swings here? AJ Stravato is going to come off a pit lane in 5th, it looks like, in front of Bailey Turner. I see Tim Downey Jr. giving a bunch of people spots here, Finian.
Yeah, I think penalty for him. Actually, no, he didn't pit.
Interesting. Okay, so we have what, 70, just under 70 laps to go. Jeff Wright is our leader. Joshua Banks in 2nd. Let's pull up Jeff Wright, our in-race reporter, again. Let's talk to him and see what his plan is for the end of this race. Hey, Jeff Wright, it's Kyle from SimTV. Things are still going well for you out up front, but Joshua Banks putting some pressure on. What's the plan to hold him off for the next 70 or so laps?
Yeah, he's fast, that's for sure. Joshua doing a really good job. Honestly, the outside lane is really your only hope when somebody's faster than you. Joshua's definitely faster than me there. I mean, I have the clean air, and he was in the dirty air, and he was still able to close. So, yeah, it's all about utilizing that second lane up off the bottom. See if you can kind of pinch off their run on exit. And I was able to do that there for a while, but if it gets inside again, it's going to be tough, but a lot of fun racing with these guys so far. Just really love racing short tracks.
Talk to me about the restarts. It seems like you're able to get such a good launch because of the advantage the leader has here. If you get put on the outside or even in the inside of row number 2, do you think it'll be as difficult for you to get to the lead as it is for them right now?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's for sure an advantage being the leader, and also being on the inside makes it, just that much better. When I started the race, I think I qualified 4th, and it was you usually kind of just try to work your way to the bottom as soon as you can, because really that outside just isn't good until you get about 10, 15 laps or so, and then you can kind of go up there and maintain yourself and hold off other guys. But yeah, definitely want to be on the inside and try to stay the leader. This clean air is pretty nice. It's a lot easier to drive this car in clean air than it is behind other cars. I'll tell you that.
All right, Jeff. Well, you're going to have about, 65 laps to go or thereabouts. Good luck out there. We'll talk to you later.
Awesome. Thanks, Kyle.
So coming back to the restart here, Finian, I think Jeff, Wright, Banks, and Halpern are probably the 3 best cars out here at the moment, but a couple other drivers lurking. It looks like AJ Stravato's found some speed in that 33. Bailey Turner's lurking back there, and so is Adam Cabot. So keep an eye on really anyone inside the top 6, I think, is capable of winning this race. And Ronas sitting back there in 8th. Hasn't been up front a whole lot, but if these guys get together, don't count them out. Green flag back in the air, 65 to go.
Yeah, and right off to a fantastic start. Halpern trying to get to the inside of Banks. He's going to be there as they head up into 1.
Will Banks be able to hold this off on fresh tires? The inside lane's going to be a preferred way to go. They're going to be really tight out of turn 2, door to door, as they make their way down the back straight.
I think Halpern might be able to muscle his way on through Banks, still trying to fight on the outside lane. It's going to be Halpern coming away with 2nd. Now here comes Bailey Turner and Banks side by side.
I think Ronas pancaked the wall out of turn 4 and hit it pretty hard. But now, look at Eli Hinton. He's up to 5th. Stravato dropping back a couple spots. He's under attack from Cabot now. But how about Bailey Turner? You mentioned him getting by Joshua Banks. And he's setting his sights on Zach Halpern now. But Banks, not done yet. He's going to look back to the inside. He'll want to steal the spot back away.
Yeah, and behind them, Eli Hinton and Cabot fighting for 5th place. Hinton was able to get into 5th place, but here comes Cabot trying to take that spot back.
Really aggressive racing. I think drivers know the time is running out. Less than 20 minutes of racing remaining. If we go green from here, that's not a whole lot of time. So everyone's got their hands up on the wheel. They're going for it now. There's Jeremiah Vincent with Angelo Ronas and AJ Stravato. They're almost 3 wide down into turn 1. They're going to get themselves sorted out. But Jeff Wright has just set sail out up front.
Yeah, it looks like guys are going to have a tough time trying to catch him. It's really up to Halpern and Banks, really, I think, the strongest cars to be able to get up to him. And Stravato has been falling back quite a bit. He's currently in 8th right now and in danger of getting passed by his teammate Ann Lakatos.
Yeah, Stravato is just... I thought he had a lot of pace up there sitting in 4th on the restart, but just didn't get the run he needed to really gain any spots. And he's just been under attack the last couple laps. He's kind of stabilized around 8th place, but it's going to be a struggle for him to get these spots back now that they're all spread out. How about Reggie Ortega? We mentioned the last couple weeks have been really great. The last event we went to did not really have a good night. Dropped a couple spots in the standings, 4 spots, in fact, from 9th to 13th. And this night hasn't been great for him either. He had a great stretch after Martinsville after he won that race, but unable to turn the luck around tonight. Ronas really high out of turn 2. 3 wide on the back straight. Lakatos in the middle of it.
Yeah, this is a big mess of cars. A lot of cars getting with damage, just kind of getting shuffled out to the back and what have you.
Still surprised. I would have thought Jordan Ashton would have turned up the heat by now. He still seems like he's biding his time back here. Hasn't used up any of his stuff yet tonight. Maybe saving it for later, but you're running out of time to get your way through the field here, Phineas. So if I was Ashland, if I had the ability to drive through the field, I would start doing it right about now.
I was going to say, I think he might just be struggling with the package here. Because, yeah, like you said, I would expect him to be, if anything, charging up towards the front now, but I just don't think he's got the pace here tonight.
And I think it was like that the last time we were here, too. I remember Jordan Ashton wasn't having a spectacular night, so struggling a bit here this evening. And just behind him, Robert Gaba and Clifton Cockrell fighting for 14th. But up front, Jeff Wright, 6 and make it 7/10 of a second out in front of Halpern. Halpern ran a 10th quicker last time, but Joshua Banks quicker than both of those drivers. So That 35 car still the quickest in the front group. All right, I think now is about good time for a sound surge. What do you think, Finian?
I think definitely now before these guys start crashing again.
.50 laps to go here at Richmond. Jeff Wright leads, but only by a half a second. Halpern's been eating into that lead here, Finian, but Banks is trying to get by Halpern again. So which of these front three do you think stands the best chance of getting into victory lane later tonight? As you see Halpern now being pressured by the 35 of Joshua Banks.
Yeah, I think Jeff Wright's got to be the favorite here because, you know, just already building out a small lead over the 20 and the 35. And the 20 and 35 look like they're starting to get into a battle that's only going to make them lose even more spots.
Kind of a big gaggle around behind Jordan Ashland in 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th, all in a tight fight through turns 3 and 4. Gabba in the front of it, Josiah Vincent, Clifton Cockrell, and Brennan Gagnon all together. And you see the 16th scrape the fence. And you mentioned Joshua Banks putting pressure on the 20 of Halpern. I think if he wants to have a shot at Jeff Wright, he cannot waste any time behind this 20 car. If you're faster, this is the point when you got to knock him out of the way. You see him putting pressure on here. He's probably going to be patient because that's how Joshua Banks is, but I think now is the point when you need to raise up the intensity.
Yeah, I think we might see him just try to move Halpern a little bit, not necessarily like completely wreck him into the wall, but we'll see what he does here. He's got a run on Halpern right now. He's going to send it into turn 1. They're going to be side by side here, but will he be able to get the good run off?
Door to door, they're not giving each other a whole lot of room. Side by side on the back straight. 20's clear now. He's going to pull down in front of the 35.
Yeah, Banks tries to look around the outside for a move, but yeah, and actually does a great job building up a run here into turn 3. He's going to try to launch it into the corner yet again.
And launch it,
and
he
actually,
did.
It might be good enough.
He cleared him.
Great
Wow.
move.
Great pass there by Joshua Banks. He takes second place away, loses a 10th and a half to Jeff Wright in the process, but now he can set his sights on the leader who's led the most laps here tonight.
Actually, fun fact, when they're looking at their lap times, Banks even passing Halpern was faster last time through than Wright.
Yeah, and you're right about that. 21.2. And actually that time they ran, all three have ran quicker, but Banks again was the quickest driver in the field by a couple hundredths of a second over Jeff Wright. So he is setting the pace from this race from second place. And Jeff Wright in front of him has got to be looking in that relative box and looking in the mirror and thinking, uh-oh, here he comes. And we have about 41 laps to go. That's enough time to get there at this pace. Quicker still, a 10th quicker. Joshua Banks last time through.
Yeah, and I don't think that Joshua Banks is going to have a problem with him, but yeah, he's got to make sure he can get up there to right, but also make sure he doesn't burn off his tires.
Isn't this where Joshua Banks won last season? Pretty sure he did win here, if I remember correctly.
A little check on that.
Yeah, you're the stats guy. Go find me who won. Pretty sure it was Joshua Banks. And it was his only win in VRL last season. And he is quickly catching right. He's got that gap down to 0.3 of a second. It was a 0.7 of a second just a couple laps ago. Out of turn 2 now. 0.4 of a second. They get 3 now as he gets a much better run off the corner. He's closing in. We're going to have a pass for the leader, folks, in just a couple minutes. But the question is how much and how long can Jeff Wright hold off the 35?
Yeah, indeed, Banks did win here at Richmond. If he can get up here and get around Jeff Wright, he'll be able to repeat that success here.
What a good track this has been for him. He qualified quite well tonight. He's putting pressure on the 48. You see Jeff Wright move up the racetrack. He's starting to drive defensively now. This is like what how the driver in second knows that the leader knows that they can smell blood in the water.
Hinton is getting around in turn 4. Wow, was able to save it. He was dead sideways.
Oh, he got big contact from the 8 of Jeremiah Vincent. Whoa! That's a save and a half right there. Here's a look from on board. Wow. What a save. Back out front, though. They're starting to get in some lap traffic here, Finian. Now, does this help Joshua Banks or help Jeff Wright? I think it helps Banks quite a lot. You see him, he's right on the rear bumper now.
Yeah, Banks can catch if they catch the traffic in the right place, it could work out to Banks' favor.
I think the question is if any of these cars make Jeff Wright go the long way around, Banks is going to throw that car up the inside and try to get this spot. So let's see what Emerson does here. Emerson is 20th, 18 laps down, and he's going to give the leader the inside lane, and they're both going to go on through. But Banks, he's gained all that ground that Jeff Wright had stretched out. So we know the 35 is quicker. The matter of time, though, is we're getting down to about 30 laps to go. And you have about 12 minutes of racing left to get there. So you got to get on your stuff and go for it now. Halpern too far back to do anything about this. So it's all between the 48 and 35.
Yeah, 48 right got a poor exit out of 2 that time through. That let Banks close up right to him, and even poor exit out of 4 for the 48, though. Really, Banks started mounting up the pressure.
Banks up the racetrack a little bit, maybe trying to get a better run out of turn 2. You see him get that launch. Look at that drive out of turn 2 that he gets. He's not rim running around the bottom. He's trying all sorts of different lines down into turn 3. He's going to be right on the bumper of that 48, but needs to try something a bit different to get around him in that section of the racetrack. He's loose.
Yeah, whoa! Yeah, got loose there. Was trying to merge up behind the 48, got loose doing so. But yeah, what I've been noticing that Banks is doing, he's been trying to set up the exit out of 2 to make a pass in turn 3, kind of what he did with Halpern. And it's been sort of working for him. Lost some time there, but he's trying to gain that back on 48.
Patience is what that 35 needs right now, and he's being patient, but the problem is if your car goes away from you later, you could have passed him now and made it harder for him later. So it's a delicate balance between making it difficult for yourself now or for him later. And he's in the fence out of turn 2.
Yeah, lost quite a bit of time there doing so, getting loose, up, gap back down, back up to...
Take another look at the incident. Oh, tank slapped and got into the fence. And he lost quite a bit of ground here, so we'll see if he closes back up and if that damage has affected him. And now he just gets clear of the 25 of Tim Downey Jr., who's 2 laps down. Eli Hinton, after his slip-up, is behind Brandon. How about Brandon Bowers, Finian? New driver to the series. He's in 8th in that 31. That front is torn off that race car. He's sitting in 8th. Great run for him.
Yeah, I'm honestly amazed that car has been able to run as well as it has been, considering he's missing a nose, but he's been flying up through the field.
So Jeff Wright leads this race. Joshua Banks was a touch quicker last time by 0.04. And we have less than 30 to go, closing on 25 to go. And I think Banks can get there. The question is, can he pass the 48 now? He kind of used his car up in the fence out of 2. And that might have been all it took to keep him behind Jeff Wright, if Wright plays a good defensive role here for the last 25 or so laps.
Yeah, no, I think the more laps that go through, the more I think that Banks needs to be a little bit physical here.
I think he needs to be physical, but Joshua Banks is one of the nicest guys in the garage area. I don't really see him just knocking the 48 out of the way, but he might need to.
Yeah, Halpern way loose out of 4. He's really starting to struggle as Bailey Turner's catching up to him.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Bailey Turner all over him for 3rd place, and Turner's turned this night around after getting turned into the fence earlier, so well, look at him drive off into the corner. He's not afraid to use the bumper. He's going to lean on him in 3 and 4 and try to launch a run.
Yeah, we've seen that Turner isn't too afraid when it comes down to it to make a move. There he's sending it up the inside of Halpern, and Halpern I don't think can do really too much to defend at this point. His tire is really burned up at this point.
Side by side on the back straight. 24 looks to the inside. The 20 clobbers. Oh, he gets clobbered in turn 3. They spin, but they save it, and the 20 car corrects it. The 24 is still sliding out of turn 4. Wow.
Yeah, that'll be 2 spots for Adam Cabby, who moves himself up into 3rd place.
Let's go back and watch that. That was a crash, folks. Oh, the 20 car he's crashed. I don't know how he saved that thing. But that's a classic bump and run, just a bit more extreme than we're used to. And it didn't really net the 24 any spots.
Yeah, I was going to say that easily could have been a caution right there, but great save from him.
For the lead, Jeff Wright. Joshua Banks has run him down. It's a 10th and a half between the two. Plumbing up on 20 laps to go, Finian, so Banks is running out of time. Will he use the bumper? When will he use the bumper? How will he get by the 48 of Wright?
Yeah, I really doubt that he is going to use the bumper, although if I was a Scrooge, I would be screaming at him to do it. But it looks like he's trying to set up the pass again, on the back straightaway here. He's going to potentially look out. No, he's going to sit on it for now.
Okay, I want to keep an eye on this fight, but also the one for 4th as Bailey Turner and Halpern. Remember Halpern, he got run over at Martinsville, was not happy about it, so we know that he's got a short temper, and I'm curious to see how he races this 24 after. So we'll keep an eye on these two, just in case it turns south. But for the lead, it's even closer. 10th and a half separating the top two. Banks got a good run out of turn 4. He's going to look to the outside. Does the 48 cover up there? And is that line a place to go, or does the 35 have to cross him over and head back to the bottom? He's going to go for the yellow line. Does he get alongside him? Yes, he does. Can he get up to him? No. He's going to have to slot back in line.
Yeah, again, it's really hard to run that inside lane there. You need to charge in there to really maximize the benefit off of it. Otherwise, you just lose so much speed on exit.
There's lap traffic up at, I think it's the 50 of Casey Lakatos, and I think that might be the 75 of Gaba. Alec Martinez is up there as well, so now
quite a few cars.
The intensity is going to be picking up now, and here's the bumper! He leans on him! Ooh. He's got to go harder than that, though. I think he's going to have to really push on him to get out of the way.
Oh, here he is. He's setting up the run here. He's going to get a huge run on the back straightaway.
He slips! Ooh, he's in the fence! He's crashing!
He goes spinning to the inside.
Crash on the back straightaway.
Caution?
No caution.
No caution as of yet.
And Joshua Banks, that race just got thrown away. Caution out. 18 to go. And a tragic turn of events for Joshua Banks. And that is so frustrating, Finian. Here's a look at it. You just tried to throttle up and just got away from him here. And just got behind on the steering and then a big hit to the inside fence.
Yeah, unfortunately didn't have the grip to keep it going, keep the foot to the floor there, and the car just spun around and tried to save it, but yeah, just wasn't able to. And around he went.
And he hit the opening in the fence. That car is going to be hurting suspension-wise, so he'll probably have to come to pit road and fix all that damage. But Jeff Wright just got given a gift. Now, the question is, Finian, we've seen probably two of our best contenders, Zach Halpern and Joshua Banks. They got rooted up out of the way, and Banks just crashed. We're going to come to pit road. This is the money stop here, Finian. 4 tires and fuel, I imagine. Does anyone try any kind of strategy, or is it just put 4 Mr. Feelgoods on and call it a night?
Yeah, I think the leaders might honestly just put 4 tires on, or top 4 especially, because I think they know that they need as much grip as they can on these last few runs. We might see someone towards the back potentially try 2 tires to get some track position.
Okay, so here's my thought, Finian, is I would... Oh, the 48 misses
Oh,
Bucks! He's in, but, okay, here's the thing. I would take 2 tires here because with the way this night has been going, I think we're on our 8th or 9th caution. Let's take a look. It's caution number 8. I think from here on out, it's going to be a mess, and it looks like some people are trying some strategy, and it looks like Cabot comes out, and no, everyone took 4, but Cabot wins the race off pit road, and you know what? He is the lucky man, because if it goes caution free from the end, he's probably got a good shot at winning this. If there's cautions to the end, also got a good shot at winning this. He is in a great spot right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say pretty much will gain that spot because Wright messed up his pit stop, getting just overshooting his box by a little bit, and only lost 1 spot, but arguably lost the most important spot on the track.
Yeah, you cannot get a good restart on that outside lane, especially when the leaders have been going as early as they can, or as early as they have been going tonight. And if you try to get a good outside lane restart, you could potentially end up jumping it and getting yourself a penalty. So Jeff Wright has backed himself into a corner with that slip up. Adam Cabot, a flawless pit sequence for him. He's now your leader. And Cabot was actually a 2.5 seconds quicker on pit lane than Jeff Wright from the start to the end of pit road. So Cabot executed well there, and he's in a great spot to win this thing. Bailey Turner will be restarting from 3rd. Also a good spot to be. Can we talk to Jeff Wright one more time?
I don't see why not.
All right, let's see. Hopefully we have time to talk to him real quick. Hey, Jeff, I know it's probably a bad time to talk to you because you're strategizing how you're going to win this thing, but a slip up on the pit sequence, you're going to be restarting from the outside of row number 1. How are you going to get your car back to the front?
Yeah, that's a big mistake I made there. Definitely going to make it really tough to win this race now, being on the outside, but we got, a couple laps left, 10, 11 when we go green or so, so I'm going to do my best to try to get around him. Obviously try to do it as clean as I can. But yeah, it just made things a lot more difficult for myself, but should be a fun show for you guys, all of us battling here for the win. I know Bailey Turner in the 24, he's pretty fast. He's going to be on the inside. We're just going to have to go at it and hope it sticks on the outside, see if we get around, and try to go get another W this season.
All right, Jeff, good luck. Hopefully we'll be talking to you in victory lane. Go get him.
Thank you.
All right, well, Jeff Wright's going to go back to work. Lights are out on the pace car. We're going to be coming to the restart with 11 laps to go, Finney, and who you got your money on?
Honestly, it's kind of tough to tell. I think I might put it on the 48.
I was going to say that, too. I think Cabot is going to be in a great spot here, especially if there's cautions from here to the end. But if it goes green, that 48 has been quicker than Adam Cabot, so I would not count him out.
And he's been the most consistent, too, overall during this race. I think everyone else has kind of fluctuated quite a bit, but he's almost been constantly up in that top 2 all night long.
Does anyone have anything for Adam Cabot? He's going to have a great restart here because of the position he's in, but is it going to be enough? If the cautions come out, Cabot's sitting pretty. If it goes green to the end, it's going to be a struggle to hold that lead off from the 48 car. Door to door, green flag back in the air. Cabot gets a great jump. He slips and slides, though, and that gives up all his advantage. Comes down right in front of Bailey Turner. Let's make their way down to turn number 1.
Ooh, Turner almost gave Cabot the boot there, and Cabot high in the turn. Here comes Bailey Turner trying to turn down. Can't do it. Here comes Halpern on the outside.
Halpern recovering from his slip-up earlier. He's coming on the outside lane. Turner's trying to make something happen, and Jeff Wright slips 2 spots on the restart. Halpern carries momentum to the outside. He's on the fence out of turn 4.
Oh, this is exactly what Cabot needs. The guys fighting behind him for second place. Turner
Caution!
and Halpern still going at it.
Caution in turn 4, I believe. Or no, it's down in turn number 1. I think, I'm trying to get who it was. I can't
Banks.
see. Joshua Banks in the 35. And what happened here to the 35 car? Did he get rooted up out of the way by the 4? Oh, yeah, I think he came down to block the 4 car and just got himself turned around. Big hit down there for the inside.
Yeah, late block from the 35. That got him spun around.
Okay, so
amazing he didn't have a caution earlier than that. That
just changed a lot of things here, Finney. And so Cabot leads, Halpern second, Bailey Turner third. We're going to have probably 6 or 5 laps to go here in a moment. We're going to jump to break. We'll stick with us. We'll be right back for the conclusion of this race. Welcome back live to the Outsider Racing League here, round number 7 from Richmond Raceway. We're going to be coming to the restart with probably 5 to go here, Finian. So after that restart, a lot of chaos shuffled the field around, but Cabot holds on to the lead. Halpern gained a bunch of spots. Jeff Wright slipped to 4th. So who's in the catbird seat now?
It's kind of tough to tell. Honestly, I would say potentially that 77, he's got the best chance of getting a good restart here. We saw him get to a shaky start after making some contact with the 48 as he came to the green. We're accelerating that, took him out of line, but we'll see how this restart goes.
And I don't know how this is going to be handled here, Finian. I mean, the outside lane is tricky to restart, but Halpern seems like he's just so aggressive on these restarts.
Yeah, and I think also the way this is shaping up, we're going to get the restart with 4 laps to go, so it's going to be the final restart of the race here. So, Cabot, Halpern, Turner, Jeff Wright, Jeremiah Vincent, your top 5. And how about Jeremiah Vincent, too, in the 8 car? He's been having a very quiet night. He's slowly found his way up inside the top 5.
And not a scratch on that car, too. He's kept that thing in one piece, and that's really the only car inside the top 15 or so, other than maybe Jordan Ashland. But really, those guys are in good shape. Okay, here we go, Finian. So it's going to be probably a 4-lap battle to the end here, I imagine. Yeah, so we're going to have a 4-lap shootout. If the caution comes out, the race is over. Adam Cabot is probably in the best spot. All right.
Yeah, we'll see if Bailey Turner, we've seen him be very aggressive on these restarts, has been able to get good runs in. Again, not afraid to give people the bumper. We've seen him give it to people twice so far tonight, and he's got the leader right up ahead here with only 4 laps to go.
Oh boy, I'm glad I'm up in the booth here and not down on the racetrack, Finney. And Adam Cabot, he's looking for his first Cup Series victory here in the Outsider Racing League after winning his first race in the Xfinity Series in the Virtual Racing League a couple weeks ago at Indianapolis. Can he win in a short track here tonight? He's going to be 4 laps away from finding out. Pace cars off, coming to the restart. Green flag flies. Cabot gets a great restart. The 20 pulls right down in front of the 24, and chaos behind him.
You see everyone defending down towards turn 1. Cabot's going to lead. Halpern's going to be in second. Turner in third. Ooh, Wright giving a bumper to the 24, but didn't do anything.
Ortega spinning in turn 2, and he's going to collect a couple cars. Caution out. Race over, and it looks like Adam Cabot is going to win at Richmond. Wow. And he'll pick up his first victory on the Cup side of things after just tasting victory a few weeks ago, and Ortega ends the night spun around in turn 2. He was on the outside. They were 4 wide here for a second. Finney, he gets tagged by the 31, runs him up the racetrack, and Ortega just spins out. Clifton Cockrell clobbers him. And that's all it took. Caution out. So now we just got to run these last couple laps under or behind the safety car here. But Adam Cabot, what a couple weeks this has been for the 77. And he was so good at Kansas, too, but didn't find his way to victory lane there.
Yeah.
And just tonight has just been solid and just was there when it mattered and got a great pit stop. And you got to feel for Jeff Wright. Led almost all this race. And caution at the end threw it away for him.
Yeah, tough break there, especially that restart, too, when he was side by side with Cabot. He got contact with the 77, and that sent him up to the high line and had pretty much no chance of recovering after that.
So Cabot is going to come back and take the white and yellow flag here. As long as he makes it back around the .721 miles, he will be your winner in round number 7. And this will be a good night for him in the points. I haven't looked. I don't know where Cabot is in the points. Let's take a look here. He's 15th in the standings, but it's a pretty close battle between him and really the top 10. All he needed was about 12 points to get himself in the top 10. And he's going to be in a good spot. He needs to get up a couple more spots to be in the chase, Finian, but this is going to give him a long or a big points jump up to those spots. So Cabot is going to be smiling under that helmet right now.
Yeah, and again, this is exactly what he needs here, as you said, going into the playoffs. We still got a few weeks before it starts, but I want to try to get as many points as he can, and especially considering for a guy of his speed, we've seen him in quite a few weeks be up towards front, hasn't been able to get really good finishes in the last few weeks, but here he is. As he comes out of turn 4, he's going to see the checkered flag.
Checkered flag waving. Adam Cabot, driving the number 777 Glycoflex Camaro, is going to pick up his first checkered flag in Cup Series action. He wins at Richmond. The rest of the field comes in behind. Halpern, Bailey Turner, Jeff Wright, Jeremiah Vincent, your top 5. Stravado, Hinton, Ronis, Vincent, Ashland, your top 10. How about Jordan Ashland picking up a top 10 after all that tonight?
Yeah, again, great job. Great job for him. Good effort.
Casey Lakatos in the 50 comes home just outside the top 10. 11th tonight. That car all torn to pieces. Brandon Gagnon, first race for him in the 83. Got involved in a wreck earlier tonight. Comes home 13th. Not a bad showing, but disappointing night for Alec Martinez, Reggie Ortega, Mark Emerson, and Elliot Butler, all of which are having pretty good seasons up to this point. But Adam Cabot doing burnouts on the front straight. Well-earned victory here. He was in it until it counted. I think got a great pit stop to end the night.
Yeah, that was his burnout here.
And I'm sure he's going to celebrate this one quite a bit. And that's going to do it for him. So let's take a look at our race results here tonight. Finney and Adam Cabot wins the race. Halpern just about a half a second back. I think he wanted it to go green to the end. Bailey Turner, Jeff Wright, Jeremiah Vincent, Stravado Hinton, Ronis, Vincent, Ashland, your top 10. Lynn Lakatos, Bowers, Gagnon, Banks, Gaba, Cockrell, Downey Jr., Martinez, Ortega, Mark Emerson, the rest of your top 20. And again, Emerson, 19 laps down. A rough night for him. Going to hurt him in the point standings, especially after looks like the 29 of Ronis finished in 8th. So that's not quite going to be a pass for position, I don't think. I think it was like it was a 24-point lead. So not going to be enough to trade positions in the points. But the 29 of Ronis is going to eat into that lead big time. And rest of your order scrolling through there. So we're going to jump to break for a moment. Don't go anywhere if you want to hear Adam Cabot and his Victory Lane interview for the first time in 2019 and the first time in the Outsider Racing League. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back live to SimTV here with 4th place finisher Jeff J. Wright. Jeff, you led the most laps tonight at number 48. It was a good race and good night all around, but slipped up pit stop and a bad restart for you, relegated you to 4th. You got to be disappointed with that, but still a top 5, a good night, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, good points day for sure, especially after the way the past few weeks gone for me. Kansas, I think we wrecked on lap 5 and finished dead last, so that definitely hurt us in the points. So good points day, but yeah, this one hurts a lot. You know, thought I could have definitely won this race, overshot the pit box ever so slightly, and restart on the outside, and you're at such a disadvantage on the outside. It's really tough to get a good jump. Spun the tires a little bit, and I got into Adam. Disappointing, but happy for Adam. Congrats on the win for him, and it was a lot of fun racing tonight. I know it didn't end the way I wanted to, but you know, they got such a great group of guys in this league, so finishing top 5's good points day. Now we'll take it and we'll move on.
Is this a change in momentum for the 48 team after a couple rough weeks? Is this a step in the right direction for you guys? Are you looking forward to next week now, or is it circled on your schedule is one you're a bit worried about?
Yeah, I mean, I like the short tracks the best. I know we don't go to too many of these tracks. I know what I have on short tracks, and I know I can be competitive, so that's why I wanted to win so badly. Still really trying to figure out what it takes to be fast and what it takes to be able to win on 1.5 miles, 2 miles, and whatever. But this race was definitely one that was circled on my calendar. Honestly, I don't know when we go to the next short track or road course, but yeah, I would definitely say momentum builder here. We got a good place finish. We had a lot of guys in this race tonight. I want to say 25 or more. So a lot of points were on the table, and it was good to walk out of here with some solid points.
All right, Jeff. We only have 2 weeks to wait. Next week is Michigan. Then it's the Kansas road course on May 4th. So good luck to you next week, and we'll see you later.
All right, thanks, Kyle. You guys do a great job.
I appreciate it, Jeff. Have a good night. Next is going to be Bailey Turner, who finished third tonight. Bailey, it was a little bit rough and tumble out there to start with. You had a damaged car, but you pulled it all together for a third-place finish. I think you needed some more green flag running there to do any more than that, but got to be a good recovery after a rough start.
Yeah, definitely after the incident at the beginning. I lost a little bit of speed in the car, I could tell. At the beginning of the race, I got past, I think it was Joshua Banks, who was, pretty much fastest car here. And but after that damage, no matter what I did, I tried to sit there and save tires and just do anything I could to try to get any extra bit of pace out of the car, and it wouldn't do it for me. So it's disappointing. I was really hoping this would be a win tonight. I felt like definitely like the class of the field is Jeff, Joshua, and I, but it is what it is. Move on to next week.
All right, third place finish for Bailey Turner. Thanks. We'll see you later.
Thanks.
All right, next up is going to be Zach Halpern, but we're going to turn this one over to Administrator Andrew Telganoff. He's going to interview Zach Halpern in the number 20.
Hey, Zach, man, congratulations, buddy. You've been a hell of a driver all season, man. You've been caught up in some bad luck, but explain tonight, man. I mean, you were in the top 5 most of the race there, and it looked like Jeff had a bad pit stop there, put you in position there to possibly even get a win, but unfortunately the cautions there really kind of screwed you over there. But explain the race through your eyes, man. I mean, you're the one out there on the track, buddy. So, I mean, what was it like?
I definitely enjoyed the race tonight. I felt like we were racing a lot cleaner than we normally have been, for sure. Thanks to everyone for racing mostly clean the whole night. There's always going to be accidents that happen, and I understand that we're going to be racing aggressive, especially in the top 5. I do appreciate Jeff at the end there telling me that he was not putting any brake in the car, because I was putting brake in the car the whole race, and as soon as I took that out, I was a lot faster. But I am very happy with the second place. Obviously a win would have been better, but sometimes the cautions don't go your way. You just got to appreciate getting the second place and take the momentum moving forward.
Yeah, and we got, looking at the schedule here, it looks like we have Michigan next week, the resurfaced. I'm not sure if you've actually ran that or not, but is that something you're looking forward to next week? I mean, you've been a really fast guy week in, week out. I mean, is there anything you expect going into next week at Michigan, or you take it as it is?
I kind of just take it as it is, take advantage of the practice sessions if I can. Sometimes my work schedule gets in the way. But with the new package, it's tough to tell how any track's going to be. Like, you can kind of get an idea, but until you actually get some practice in, you won't know. But just, wait until I can see how it goes and hopefully get another at least top 5 in, maybe a win.
All right, I'd like to interview you for another 55 minutes if I could, but I can't because somebody's standing alongside the winner tonight. But again, good job tonight, buddy. You did a hell of a job. I'm so proud of you and Dark Smoke Race and everybody in the top 8. And hey, buddy, we'll see you next week at Michigan. Go get her.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Nice. That was Zach Halpern, our second place finisher tonight. But now we're going to talk to Adam Cavett, driving the number 77 Glycoflex car. Adam, you won a couple weeks ago at Indianapolis in the Xfinity Series for VRL, and it was your first win in the Twin Leagues here, but your first Cup Series win tonight. You got to feel awesome about that one, man. I mean, obviously you had a good run most of the night, but a great pit stop puts you up front, and you managed to hang on. Walk us through those last couple laps.
Yeah, ironically, I felt like I've had speed all year to get a win, but just haven't had the luck or just the sequence of events work out. But tonight, I felt like I was probably 4th or 5th best. I felt like I was just a tick slower than Jeff, Bailey, Josh, Zach. Not by much. In the long run, I felt like I was reeling them in a little bit, but Then with just a few laps to go, I guess Zach and Bailey got together a little bit. I got by them, and the caution came out, and I was in second. And then I smelled blood in the water the second I pulled my pit stall, and I saw Jeff slid through just a little bit and had to back up. And I knew that if I had just a normal solid stop, that I would come out first and just have to hold everyone off. And that second to last restart, I'm not really sure what happened there, but I think Jeff and I ended up getting together, and I almost lost it and had to throw a giant block on Bailey. But yeah, it all ended up just kind of working out in my favor in the end. So really, really excited to get my first ORL win. And yeah, I mean, I just thought it was surprising it would come at this track. Definitely not one of my better tracks. I'm more of an intermediate guy, but this new package this year with the intermediate tracks, that's kind of a crapshoot. So haven't really been able to show my skills there. But yeah, overall great race and cool to finally get that first win.
You've had a couple great races so far. We head to Michigan next week, a 2-mile racetrack, and then we head to the Kansas road course here in a couple weeks. And then ISM Raceway Talladega is coming up. So of these next couple tracks, which one is the one that you're circling on your schedule as probably your favorite and best chance to get another win?
Well, I think the Kansas road course got replaced.
Oh, it did,
by
right? You're right. Indy road course.
Something. Right? I'm not sure. Yeah, Indy road course. I don't know. I'm not really a road guy, but I ran really well at Sonoma early in the year. So maybe if I practice real hard, I can do well there. I probably would circle that because with this package, Talladega, Michigan, they're both going to be crapshoots pretty much. So I like the speedways. I feel like I'm good at them, but you got to have a lot of luck on your side. So yeah, I don't really know. We'll just see where this win takes me.
All right, Adam Cabot, victorious here tonight at Richmond. Thanks for talking to us. We'll see you next week.
All right, thank you.
No problem. Have a good night. All right, Finian. Well, 180 laps here at Richmond, and Adam Cabot gets his first win of ORL competition. Halpern gets a good run in second. Turner third. Jeff Wright slips after leading the majority of the race to fourth. Jeremiah Vincent gets inside the top 5. Storylines out of tonight, a new winner in the series as we head to Michigan next week. A big unknown. It'd probably be a lot like Auto Club Speedway, which we saw a couple months ago, where Mark Emerson came out on top.
Yeah, expecting something similar to that there. But yeah, it'll definitely be an interesting race, especially as the points battle starting to heat up as we get closer and closer to the chasing guys that are trying to get those last few points to get them in.
That's going to do it for us tonight here. We're off tomorrow. We want to wish everyone that celebrates the Easter holiday a happy Easter. We'll see you again on Tuesday with the Fuel Host Venom Cup Series, who is going to be, it looks like, at... Where are we next week? Iowa for the regular season finale for the Fuel Host Venom Cup Series. And then Wednesday is Spec MX5 Sim Racing Challenge. That's going to be from Circuit of the Americas over on the Winding Road Magazine YouTube channel. The link for that is up. So go to Winding Road Magazine's channel, subscribe, and hit that like button and the bell to be notified when that goes live at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. Then Thursday, Scars Ferrari Challenge from Motegi. Friday is going to be Virtual Racing League action from Michigan. And then Outsider Racing League also at Michigan next week. That's going to do it for us tonight. Thanks for watching, everybody, and have a great Easter tomorrow afternoon.